Yes.
You brought something that you want to talk about today, correct?
I do.
Okay,
I
so
did.
so what is that you would like to educate us about today?
Okay, so you say to bring an article, and I'm very proud to say that I'm now a thought leader for Forbes. And so I did the article five keys to getting everyone in the company to embrace company goals.
So let me be clear.
Yes.
Just so everybody is listening, normally I have the co-host bring an article from the Google. Cherie is the Google. Okay, all right. So what
Okay.
did you write?
Well, the reason that I brought this, we're at the end of the year, right? And for probably over 20 years of working with clients across the country, I've always had a problem with the 1980s brought to us live and in person to corporate America SMART goals. And anyone in the business world knows what it stands for. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic or relevant, or timely with a deadline. And my first issue with it is, okay, when you're working with entrepreneurs, okay, we wouldn't have the Apple today. We wouldn't have a lot of the amazing things that we've gotten from entrepreneurial companies if they just stuck to realistic and attainable.
That is a
Is that
fair,
not
true
is that not the
statement.
truth?
Absolutely.
Okay, and then you get
Some of my biggest success, I absolutely started having not one person think it was going to
absolutely.
work.
So that's number one issue that I had. And then so you got the attainable and the realistic part. And then you've got measurable and timely. Well, isn't that being specific? So they've wasted 2 slots on specific as well.
Yeah,
So,
but they were trying to make it sound cute
well,
and everything. Sure,
it just doesn't work.
Okay.
And so, darn.
Which is why most of us small business people
Right.
hate doing that kind of planning stuff.
Well,
when we
but
come to
here's
you.
the really big thing, okay? Ever since COVID and the whole aspect of quiet quitting and great resignation has hit businesses hard, right? The biggest problem with the previous SMART and why I propose SMARTer, which is what I put in this article, is that it's all focused on the goal and not the people achieving the goal. It's all focused on the goal and not the people achieving the goal. I want to repeat that. And if you want people to, and then like I go across the country and I'm speaking to emerging leaders across the country, and I ask them, how many of you have a goal that's been dictated to you by the company? Well, okay, business owners, you have goals for your company. Anyone that's working for your company, you are basically dictating goals to your people if you have goals for your company. All right. So 70 to 100% will say yes. And then I'll ask, how excited are you to reach that goal? Well, not very, or it's just a part of my job. Well, that's not real awe-inspiring.
I'm excited
is it?
so I don't get fired.
Yeah. That's not real awe-inspiring, right? So what I've done is I've worked with companies to understand that it's not about goal setting as much as it's about goal getting. And if you want to get the goals achieved, if you want to get the goals achieved, then that I do believe in specific. The more specific, the more clear. That's clarity. That gives people clarity on what they are trying to achieve. But then the M should be about what makes it meaningful to the company and to the person that is charged with a portion of that goal being achieved. How can it be meaningful for them and not just for the company, right? Then the A is about action inspired. Okay. Now, a lot of people have goals.
Whoa. You're going too fast.
Okay.
Let's start from the beginning here.
Okay.
Because I read your article.
Yeah.
You gave me a sneak preview.
Sure.
I had to read it twice because you just bother me with your big smart head. I mean, you got to start. There's people like me in the world. They got to read your stuff 3 times before they get it, right? But the one thing that was clear to me. Mm-hmm. Is that I want to make this as collaborative as possible.
Yes.
And this process is doing that.
Yeah.
So let's go through that. So
yeah.
you small business people out there listening, or any of you out there that want to try and set a personal goal, this is a great way to do this.
Absolutely.
So number 1 is specific.
Specific. And then what's important is an example I give as a business owner and then as an individual. A good example I see all the time that business owners have is I want to grow 20% or 25%. Well, what does that 20 or 25% look like? I worked with an engineering firm where we looked at that. Well, then you got to look at, this was a soil testing and construction monitoring firm. Okay, what does that mean in lab equipment? What does that mean in project managers? What does that mean in location? What does that mean in
Or specific
right,
type of
right.
sales
So then
might be different
exactly
divisions, different numbers.
different percentages for different markets, right?
Okay.
So then all of a sudden you have all of these like mini goals, or what you want to call, that turn into driving objectives for how you reach them.
Then
so
the next thing is meaningful.
Meaningful means that everyone feels like they're gonna it's gonna be purposeful. All right.
And that's where the specifics come in. When you get to the department heads, you ask them what they think.
Yeah.
Then you can bring that. That's where this
Well,
collaborative starts.
I took a heavy construction group through this whole specifics, specific, meaningful, action inspired, rewarding, and time well spent. And they were having a hard time with what's called getting supervisors to fill out paperwork necessary from an OSHA perspective. Okay, high compliance stuff. Once we got everyone together and we said, okay, what would make filling out this paperwork more meaningful and rewarding and time well spent? Well, once it came down to lives being saved, avoiding accidents, all of a sudden people were much more inclined to want to fill out that paperwork.
Because it was meaningful.
Yes. It's amazing how that works.
See how she got a big head? See how that works?
Big
Patrick, you get that?
No, I don't. I don't see a big head on her at all. I see
Thank
beauty
you.
and intelligence across
Thank
the
you.
table from me.
No big head here.
I
The
meant
big head is
meaningful. I
sitting-
didn't mean her big
Now,
head.
Yeah.
the
No.
host of the show, another
I was
situation.
just going to say that. The only big head I see is right next to me.
Wait a minute, Patrick. You got number one turning on me.
You see how I did that?
Let's take a break and we'll come back.
Your
If it-
business matters. There you go.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnon. We'll return after
Where your business matters. You are listening to the number one talk business show live from Burner Cigar Studios. Premium cigars, premium cigar smokers, premium cigars, great people. What else can you ask for at Burner Cigars, located in Birkdale Village? You go by there and tell them Joe sent you, and your first cigar is on me. You are listening to 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, 1400 AM. I am Joe Vagnon, and this is Local Biz Now. I'm here with Cherie DeMeo. We are going over the specifics that she's giving us to help us achieve our goals for next year. I'm also here with my friend and fun, enjoyable partner to pick on, Patrick, the Kardashian of Lake Norman. Reynolds knows no one, sees nothing, is nothing, says nothing, has nothing, builds nothing, but everybody wants to be Patrick. Patrick, thank you for being here, buddy.
Yet here I am.
Yeah,
Back
here he
again
is.
that you've invited me to the studio.
Two co-hosts ago. First I had Danny Decker, then I had Jim Vogel. Both of them are sick. Let's pray for them.
Yeah.
And now Patrick sits in the seat as the master that he is, always there to swoop in at the last moment.
Hey, I wish Danny and Jim a speedy recovery, but I had to do what I had to do to get back on the show. You know what I'm saying?
So-
Just a little something.
So, Cherie,
Yes.
the article in which you wrote at the Google for Forbes, 5 keys to everyone embracing goal setting. The title is perfect. Because when I read it, it really was about everybody embracing a goal, a vision to move forward. So we've already gotten through specifics. We already got through meaningful, and now what's the third one?
The next one is action inspired. And what I want to emphasize here is it's too often business owners set goals, want their people to help them achieve these goals, but it's all about telling versus compelling. All right. And you hired these people for a reason. Why not get them engaged in some of the action necessary to help achieve that goal? They're going to own it more if they have a say in the action that's involved. And they may have better ideas than you, by the way. It's really important to help people feel valued. Okay. What people complain about all the time is not feeling valued.
We don't have all day.
Right.
But can you tell me a little bit about how to do that? Because this is not easy.
Actually, I think it's very easy. It's
Okay.
it's all about communication.
Patrick's smiling because
Yeah,
you
of
just made me
course.
look bad. You understand? Patrick enjoyed that, Cherie, that you smacked me on the back of your head. Because to me, this sounds very hard.
No,
Walk me
it's
through
not.
this.
It's not because after you have identified how these goals can be meaningful for each individual, and oh, by the way, meaningful also entails how it might be meaningful for them outside work, not just inside. Okay. So then it becomes more meaningful. Then people are going to be more open and willing to come up with ideas to help achieve the goal because they're not going to have this attitude, well, I got to do it, but I'm not real excited about it. They're actually going to be more excited about it. And so as a result, you just pull the team together and say, here's a goal. We now know that's meaningful for everybody here and why. Okay, so what are some ideas on what some actions we can take? Let's list these actions down and then let's take ownership in some of these actions and let's rock and roll with it.
And I want people to hear this. This is great for family members to sit down. People
Yeah.
laugh at me, but I have family meetings all the time and talk about this kind of stuff. Like I've been teaching my son how to look for and plan for the future. And if he doesn't see how to do that, so this could be used in a family setting
Oh,
just
it can
as
be
easily.
used in any setting. Absolutely.
Okay, so we got specific, meaningful, action. What's the next one?
Rewarding. Okay, so that's
Oh,
different.
that's what Julie likes, the reward.
The rewarding. So what will make it rewarding? And it's not just financial reward. It's also it can be anything from like going back to the safety. It was rewarding to the safety people in the
Knowing
heavy
that no
construction.
coworker got hurt.
Yeah, and also that the company ended up winning a national safety award. Talk about pride. Rewarding because people want to stay and work, so there's not turnover. There's so many things that can come into rewarding, but you have to, again, it's going to be rewarding in different ways for different people. So know what that is, and then you can really build off of it.
I have always been a strong person on this one here. Obviously I push it to the limit, but Joe's the best and the biggest and the brightest. And this was a number one show way before it was a number one show, right? You know what I mean? And it's because people want to be involved with things that are doing well
Right,
and are positive. And
right.
so I get this one. I absolutely get this one.
Well, and the other aspect of rewarding, especially with the younger workforce, is they want a place they can be proud to work at that is doing and making a difference in a multitude of ways. So you got to expand what rewarding means on many, many levels because, again, it's going to be different for different people.
Okay. You want to add anything to this? You want to stay out of it? And if you say you agree with Cherie, I'm kicking you out.
That's all it takes. She just said a statement. I'll cut it out of her sentence, and the word she used was "make a difference."
Mhm.
And I think when you ask most people, younger, older, what did you want out of your job? What did you want out of your life? And you look back on it, people have that mentality. I wanted to make a difference. It wasn't
Absolutely. Yeah.
houses, boats, yachts,
Yeah.
cars, all this stuff and fame and fortune. It wasn't that. Is it real deep down in their soul? They wanted to make a difference. And if you reduce that to like the day-to-day operations of a business, whether it be in an office or out in the field or whatever, hey, you're part of this company. You're making a difference. I think that inspires people to follow what Cherie is writing about.
Yeah,
here.
you saying that reminds me years ago when Julie first started working for me, we were working on something and she said, "You don't really care about that commission at all, do you?" No. I care more that we're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
I
right.
mean, there's a lot of people like me in this world that want to do a good job. I mean, we want to be paid for it, but that's not number one.
No.
Number one is do a good job.
I'll admit that's part of what I do, being on stage in front of an audience.
You
I
and
get a
we
rush.
get
Yeah,
drive
I'm
by
sure you
doing
do.
good.
It
I'm
is.
sure you
I want to
do.
do a good job. The audience has come out to whatever concert or event I'm a part of. They've given their time. They've given their money. I want to give them
that's
a good show.
valuable.
They
Yeah.
want to walk away from that. It was worth their while to
Sure.
come see that. I wanted to make a difference in their
Right.
lives and give them something cool.
Mhm.
The money and the paycheck. All right,
Right.
we'll figure that out later. It's
Right.
coming, whatever. But it's like when you're on stage or in the moment, or when you have a client, Cherie or you, Joe or Julie, you want to make the difference in the
Yep.
moment. That's the important
Absolutely.
thing.
And I would tell you that's probably one of the number one drivers for small business people overall. They
Mhm.
really do want to do something.
Absolutely.
And so the younger generation is just sort of tweaking that a little bit.
Mhm, mhm.
You know what I mean? And it's not so personal. It's more of a worldly thing. Do
Right,
good
right,
for everyone.
right.
Yeah. Okay. What's the last one?
The last one is time well spent. Now, think about anything, and this gets at prioritizing. Okay. So, if if you believe something's time well spent, you make it a priority, right? If you don't think it's time well spent, then it just keeps getting pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. And I think that's the key. When you have the meaningful, the engagement and action and the rewarding all in alignment, everyone's going to think it's time well spent. They're going to make that a priority in their workday. Goals should be attained, and there should be something done on a daily basis, somewhere, somehow, for goals you really want to achieve. And if you believe time is well spent, then you're going to make that a priority. So it's kind of a no-brainer, but it's amazing how often it's not understood.
5 keys to everyone embracing goal setting: specifics, meaningful, action, rewarding, time well spent.
And then it ends up with what I call ER, because I call it SMARTER, is the acronym. And ER means you're going to get exponential results. So, and it really has proven itself time and time again. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I was very excited that Forbes liked it and wanted to share it.
And if you want to get this information again, you can go to Joe Vagnone YouTube channel and subscribe. And I promise you, Julie will see this as a priority and put Cherie's message on there, and you'll be able to pick it up there. Okay.